Welcome to Midlife Marriage Magic. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon. I hope that everyone is having a wonderful Sunday and that you are relaxing and enjoying the latter part of your day. Again, welcome to Midlife Marriage Magic. I am Deborah Austin, life coach and marriage strategist, welcoming you to my Sunday afternoon program called Midlife Marriage Magic. So I am so happy to share with you today. Um, this morning, I started the day out with a beautiful opportunity to see a sunrise with my husband. We got up early and drove to the beach, which is one of the reasons that we did what we did. We retired here, and we got up, got dressed, got in the car for a little bit, and then we were at the beach. And so we set up. It was still dark, and we had opportunity to take pictures and just watch as the sun appeared. It was just a really wonderful, wonderful time. And so um if you are not familiar with me, if this is your first time seeing me, my name is Deborah Austin. I am a life coach and marriage strategist, and I empower Black women to discover their truth and thrive while in a midlife marriage. And I am able to share this because this is what I have done. I am a retired educator and am now able to allow my full focus to be on working with Black women and empowering them to do things that maybe they had not ever even thought of. They may not have considered something other than the path that they have been on for 10, 15, 20 years. So when I say a woman in midlife marriage, who am I talking about? I want to share with you that when you are in my world, in my arena, I'm going to be focusing on what I am familiar with. And so I have been married for 38 years, and I have experienced some trauma in my marriage, and I have overcome that trauma. And not only was I able to do that, but I was able to discover a different me. And that's why you see me here, because the previous me would never be live on anything, talking to anybody about anything. I'm not that kind of a person. I don't like to share my personal, at least I didn't, my personal life with others, because I just was not sure about what you might do with that information. And so if you didn't know, you couldn't do anything about with it. So that was me. But as I have grown, I know that there has to be someone or several people that you choose carefully to, share information with, because if it's something that is, especially if it's something that's burdening you, it's not good to hold that in. And so I actually, at this stage in my life, I do have a therapist, but not only that, I have several coaches, and I am developing new friends in my new location. And so I hope that you all are able to relate to the things that I'm sharing with you, because as I said, I am a midlife wife. And so the women that I work with are either in my age range. They may not be as old as me. I'm 62, but they may have been married for a long time. So like if you've been married for, 15, 20 years, something like that, then you are probably in your 40s, plus. And so you would be who would probably be most interested in what I had to share. Now, of course, a younger wife may also be interested if she is being intentional about her marriage, which is one of the things that I share with the women that I work with. It is so important to be intentional about your life, as opposed to just allowing life to happen to you, or you are not really planning, you are just responding to what goes on in your life. You don't think about the things that you might be able to do, the places you might be able to go. Even if these were not possible for you at a different time in your life, they may be possible for you now, but you just hadn't even really considered it. There's so much that the world has to offer, especially now that we can be virtual. And so you don't have to just sit home and be virtual, but you can learn about things virtually and then go and do them in the physical world. So, use the media to your advantage. Now, get back on track to who my client is and what I'm going to be sharing with you about today. So, again, you might be a woman who has um, been divorced and you're on your second marriage. You might be interested in working things differently this time. And you need some help with some strategies, or you need some accountability, or you need some inspiration. That is what I do. Women that share with me, people tell me all the time that I'm just easy to talk to. And, I allow them to share, and they ultimately work it out. And that's what I want you all to understand. The women that I work with, pretty much you really already know the answers to any questions that you may have, but sometimes we need to either say it out loud, or um, just even formulate it. And in order to speak it out loud, you have to formulate it mentally. Sometimes you won't do that if you aren't going to share it. So you don't think about whatever the situation is in that way. You may just be in the middle of it and you haven't even thought about how to really get out of it. And that was me. That was me for a long time. And then ultimately, I just began to think, well, you know how they say if you continue to do the same thing, you're going to continue to get the same result. So I had to change what I was doing, and I got different results. And so I ultimately had assistance. And so, it depends on who you are and what you want to try, but we all need some assistance. This world we were not meant to be isolated in this world and to solve everything on our own. And why should you, when you have the opportunity to share with others who may have been where you are, or who have the ability to um, provide you resources that are beneficial to you in order to help you to head in the direction that you would like to go. And so that is what I do as a coach. And today, I have a topic of, it's called Just Us Conversations with Black Women in Midlife Marriage. And that is actually, let me pull up my slide to let you see. That is actually my Facebook group. It's a free group though. So if you are a Black woman and you are interested in, because there is, when you go to the Facebook group, to the link to join, there are some questions that you have to answer. But I want to just share it with you so that you can participate if you're interested. We are actually going to be meeting this Thursday evening. Now, it is not a weekend um intensive like I just finished, or nor is it um it's just it's once a month. It's on the fourth Thursday at 7 p.m., but it's only in my Facebook group. And so I'll be resuming the meetings. And so I wanted to provide information about it in case you were interested in joining. So this is the name of the group. It is called Just Us Conversations with Black Women About Midlife Marriage. So you're probably wondering, what is this? How did it come to be, and all of that? So I'm going to share that with you. as I said, I have been married for 38 years, and I have experienced some trauma in my marriage. And so back when it began, I decided I decided to invite women into my house because at that time my kids were gone, and I was not doing well, I will say. But you just you want to talk to some other women, and I knew that there were other women who were either, even if they weren't experiencing what I was experiencing, they were experiencing something. And at that time, I had, I think it was like during this, well, as I said, I'm a retired educator. And so I had the summers off. And so I just invited some of my friends over, and we would chit chat and talk about whatever they wanted to talk about. And so let me just give you a little background of how it went. So when um when you arrived, now I will say I had a little food item set up, something to eat and drink. You know how we do. We like to relax. So, and if you wanted to bring something, you could, but I had everything there. And when you arrived, I gave you an index card and a pen. And if you had a question or a topic that you wanted to discuss, you would write that down on the index card, and then we just put them in a box. And so during, after everyone would, introduce themselves, we would go around. And one of the things that I would do was ask them to say how they knew me. And it was so interesting and fun. So, we like to have fun. I know I do. And especially with other women. And so that was what I did. So when we would sit and have our conversation, probably starting around 7, I want to say, I usually started them around 7. We would be there, till 10, 11, midnight, you know, whenever the last person left. Because these were, as I said, these were my friends. And so we were just hanging out. But it provided them, they were all connected to me. They weren't all necessarily connected to each other, and they have gotten to know each other, and over time have become friends. So they made new friends, but they also had an opportunity to feel comfortable to speak about whatever their topic was, and got encouragement and just general, just, what is the word that I'm looking for? Where people were just true and honest and genuine. And it was just a very, very good experience. So, um, what we would do after I started meeting, because then we wanted to try to make it a little more formal, and so then we started a book study, and the book that we used was "The Power of a Praying Wife" by Stormy O'Mardian, and we would read a chapter and talk about it. So it has had the group has had different formats, and at this time, it's virtual because I actually had been doing it virtually before the pandemic. And then when the pandemic hit, I wasn't doing it. So I didn't pick it back up. And so anyway, I am picking it up again. So we are going to be meeting virtually at as I said, at 7 p.m. on Thursdays, the fourth Thursday of every month. And it is inside of my Facebook group. The Facebook group is free. And so once you join the Facebook group, then um, I do send a Zoom link, because it is really only for the people that attend that time, if that makes any sense. So, like if you send out invitations to a party and everybody doesn't come, well, then you don't get the experience of the party because you weren't there. So, in this instance, I feel that it is important to um, do it through Zoom, even though it's you have access in the Facebook group, that is where other conversation, you can ask a question, to the group if you'd like. But as far as that particular event that's on the 4th, that is through a Zoom link so that when you are speaking, you know who's actually hearing it. There is no replay or any of that. I don't send out the link to anybody. If you were there at the event at that time, then you are able to participate. It is not just inside of the Facebook group that you can join, that you can participate. You can get the link if you are in the Facebook group. That's the only place that you can get the link, if that makes sense. So let me say that again, just so that we're clear. So on throughout the month, I may advertise or let people know on my Facebook page that my Facebook group, Just Us, exists, that it's there and that you can join. And if you join the group, then you will have access to the Zoom link to participate in Just Us on the 4th Thursday at 7 o'clock. So it's not just inside of the Facebook group that we're just chatting in the Facebook group. It would be Zoom where you can actually talk and listen, and it is not saved and sent anywhere. It may be recorded for me, and I'm thinking about that because I may not even record that, but it's definitely not sent anywhere. So that is, as I said, it would only be for people who participate. So let me just give you an opportunity to share this, like it, do all the things that will let other people know that I'm here on the every Sunday at 4. That is my show time, my time for my show to be live, Midlife Marriage Magic, and I'm here every Sunday at 4 p.m. If I'm not here, there will be a recording here, but generally I am here. I had an event a couple of weeks ago, so I was not live, but I did share a very informative um, workshop that I had done. So let me take a sip real quick. Okay, so as I was saying, that was basically the way that it would go. So you show up, write down your question, and it was anonymous. You didn't put your name or anything on there, and submit the question. And then throughout the night, I'd pull a question, read the question, and we would talk about it. And that was basically how it went. And so that would be the same thing that we would do here. It would just be in Zoom. You could well, honestly, if you would prefer, you can send me your question ahead of time. If you want to do it anonymously, I even have a link for you to fill out a Google form to submit a question, and you can do it anonymously. It doesn't require an email or any of that. So if you would prefer to do that way, you can just put in the comments, request the link for the Google Doc, put that in the comments, and I'll send that to you. I'll probably even post it after I finish. Let me make a note so that I do not forget. All right, so I need to post the link for the Just Us Google Doc. Okay. And so then you can just send in your questions and I will read the questions. We will discuss the questions. And I mean, everyone can have input. It's not like I am the leader or I have all the answers. I am the moderator. And so I'm the one that has the questions. But other than that, we just think of it like we were in, my living room, sitting back on the sofa, sharing space, meeting new friends, and just talking. talking about what's going on. If you if you have a question, if you have a comment, whatever, it's an opportunity to share and to support, because some of us don't have anyone that we really feel comfortable sharing with, because we know them so well that we're like, I can't. Or you may be like, and this is just really something that we should, I won't say should, but many of us have learned that you really have to be careful who you share things with. Everybody is not in your corner. And if there's been an issue between you and your spouse and you forgive them for whatever it is, but you've shared that information with somebody else, they may not be as forgiving because, they're your friend or they're your relative or whatever. And so then it's awkward every time they're around each other. So, you just have to be careful with who you share with. And in this arena, because no one knows who's asking the question, then everyone can give input to the situation and no one knows where the question came from. So that is the benefit of participating, because you will feel, hopefully, more free to respond and give your honest assessment of the situation. And again, no one knows where the question came from. And it may not actually even be your question. It might be something that you were talking to someone about, or something you saw on social media, a question that was posed on social media, and you were like, I wonder what other people think about this. And it is good conversation. So that's what it is. We talk about the 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 conversations that we have are about being a Black woman in a midlife marriage. And your experience can help someone else. So I want to let you know that I will be here at 7 on I didn't look up the date. Let me see. What is the date on Thursday? Is that Halloween? No. The 27th. Okay, so that's the 27th. And so we will be here at 7 and treat it the same way. Like I have right now, y'all, I think I'm coming down with something again. I hope I'm not, but I have a cup of coffee, warm cup of coffee to help with my throat. So if you decide to come on and sit with me, just think of it like that. You get you something to drink, maybe a little snack if you need one. Relax, you can be in whatever. You have, hair. Don't worry about your hair. This is one of those kind of come as you are and just be relaxed and enjoy. Just sit back and have a conversation with other Black women about midlife marriage. We have different challenges as midlife wives. We don't generally have the challenges that a younger wife might have. Someone who's in their 20s or their 30s is probably not experiencing um, being ready to retire. They're probably not experiencing dealing with menopause issues. They're at the further along you are in your age, we have different health challenges that someone that's 20 years younger than us won't have. And you have to manage that along with the changes that are going on with your spouse and your life changing. Like you may be retiring and you might be moving, or you might, have some illnesses that are related specifically to being an older person. Arthritis might be kicking in, all those types of things that are a little bit different the older you get. And so you may not have anybody to talk to about that. That's why we will be meeting. I say meeting, but we'll be, getting together. So I guess it's a meeting. But I just want you to come and join in the conversation. Just sit, be comfortable, and relax. If you want to submit a question anonymously, like I said, I will be putting the link for the Google Doc into the comments so you can access it and send in questions. And I have in the past, if I have been the only person there, I will go ahead and discuss the questions. So you can look forward to, if you miss it and I get some questions in, you can just come on in and no, you can't. I'm sorry. I forgot. You won't have the Zoom link. So this is not just in the chat in the group. It's not. It is, you will have to have the Zoom link. So if you don't have the Zoom link, then you won't know what we talked about. So if now what I may do is do a post later on and see after we've had our conversation, just to get more conversation with it going within the group, and post the question inside of the Facebook group and see if we can get some responses, some additional responses, maybe for people who weren't able to make it. That might be a better way to do that, as opposed to yeah, that makes better sense. I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes when I'm thinking things through, and then as I think it again, I'm like, that first way that I thought about it is probably not the best way. So I am going to go ahead and make that adjustment right away. So as I said, what I will do, or at least what I'll consider doing, is after we have had the conversation in the group, then I may post the question in in the Facebook group. So when we have had the conversation in the Zoom group, they won't know how people responded. They will just know what the question was. And then we'll get new responses from people who were unable to attend. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. Let me see if there was anything else that I wanted to share with you all. Let me look at my notes real quickly. So I will give you the link to join my Facebook group. So if you want to join, and I have the question, I have the link for the questions. Okay. So I think I did cover that. And as I said, the next meeting will be on Thursday, October the 27th. So if you are able to join us at 7, I would love to see you. Love to have conversation with you, and love to just inspire you, empower you, lift you up while we are having our conversations about midlife marriage. So think about a question. Something may have come up for you, may have come up for a friend of yours, may have come up for, your sister or sister-in-law, whomever it is. If you want to share the question or you want us to have a conversation about it, be sure to submit it into the link. And I thank you for watching. If you are watching the replay, please type in hashtag replay so that I know that that's when you caught me. And I am going to go ahead and sign off. But again, I want to, um, before I leave, let me make myself a little bigger. So before I leave, I do want to ask you to, like and share and all those things. Oh, one other thing I wanted to share with you in case you hadn't seen it earlier this week, and I'll put the link for it in here too. I was interviewed. I had my first interview. I was interviewed by one of my mentors. She is a yoga instructor, and I have taken courses from her to learn how to meditate, and she's a mindset coach. So um, she interviewed me on her YouTube channel, and it's gotten some pretty good responses. So I believe if you were to check it out, and I am going to give you the link, if you were to check it out, you'll find out some different things about me. And I am probably going to do a recap of it here just to have a little more conversation about some of the questions that she asked me. So go check it out. I will give you the link for that. Let me put that in my notes as well. The link for the YouTube. Excuse me. I told you all. I think I'm coming down with something for the interview. Okay. All right. Okay. I think that's it. So I hope that you all have a wonderful week and that you are able to join me on Thursday, October the 27th, for Just Us Conversations with Black women about midlife marriage. And again, if you are just seeing me for the first time, my name is Deborah Austin. I am a life coach and marriage strategist. I empower Black women to discover their truth and thrive while in a midlife marriage. So I hope to see you again soon. Take care and have a great week.